interesting move for the individuals behind Godzilla Minus One, TOHO. So, Japan's TOHO acquired a 25% stake in Fifth Season, which is Korea's, basically a production house, distributor house, right? Producer, distributor, Fifth Season. That's what it is. Now, CJENM company are still the majority shareholder, so they're still, autonomous away from TOHO. But it is interesting because it's looking like TOHO, because this is via their TOHO International arm, it's their sort of US arm of TOHO, are making pretty big moves. It's not a small acquisition. It's not a huge acquisition either. I mean, the money is $225 million, but it's a 25% stake. So it's interesting. I mean, to me, it looks very strategic. Like they will be using this as a way to push their movies into different markets with a much, more economic viability sort of way. I mean, this is all guesswork, of course. We don't know why anyone does anything unless they actually say it and they're speaking, they're not being disingenuous. So it is interesting, but let's take a look. So this is an article on Deadline, and they released this yesterday, quite late for me. Gone 10 o'clock in the US, I'll be long gone asleep. But they say Japanese studio Toho, producer of the current box office hit Godzilla Minus One, is paying $225 million to acquire a 25% stake in producer-distributor Fifth Season. The investment is being made through Toho's US subsidiary, TOHO International. Now, it's important to say that $225 million, if you're comparing that to the yen at the moment, holy shit, that is actually a lot of money. Like, that is a serious ton of cash that they're dropping in the Japanese yen, right? There's the exchange rate to factor in. So that is a hell of a lot of cash. Hell of a lot of cash. So although we're looking at that, and even I kind of downplayed it, 225. I mean, that's still a lot of cash when you're comparing it to the yen. So Korea's CJENM remains the majority shareholder in Fifth Season, which was following an acquisition of 80% of shares made last year, while Endeavour Group Holdings continues as a strategic shareholder. Following completion of the deal, Fifth Season will have a valuation of $900 million, so nearly $1 billion. Now, again, we're still looking at this going, well, that's not a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. Again, the yen, sure, it's a ton of cash. But there are companies like Skydance, for instance, right? Skydance had a financing deal with like Morgan, JC Morgan, I believe, off the top of my head. I could be wrong, but it's a bank, right? And, I mean, that was worth only $500 million at one point, and that was a huge deal for them. So when we're talking about these small numbers relative to other companies that are the behemoths in the industry, $225 million is a lot for a company that generally doesn't deal in such huge figures, billions of dollars, right? It's just not what they do. So it's important to kind of keep that into the perspective whilst we're taking a look at this. So Fifth Season obviously didn't want to comment when asked about the new shares of the company's shareholdings following the transaction. It is understood that the deal results in a dilution for the current shareholders, which is a bit, crap, obviously, because your shares are worth less. It's not what you want, obviously, as a shareholder. Fifth Season co-CEOs Graham Taylor and Chris Rice said the investment would empower the company to continue expanding its slate of premium content, as well as create opportunities for collaboration between Fifth Season, TOHO, and CJENM. So this is where I'm looking at it. It does look like TOHO is going to use this company, Fifth Season, as a way to distribute stuff and also further develop their materials to be released in the US domestic market. That's what I reckon. Fifth Season did say that it would work with TOHO and CJENM to both produce global content and participate in content produced in Japan, while TOHO's development and production executives will team with Fifth Season. Content produced through these collaborations would benefit from Fifth Season's robust global distribution network. So there you go. It's all about that global distribution network. Do apologise there. That's Jasper going mad. But yeah, so it is the global distribution network that they are looking, I reckon, as a strategic input, right? That's what they want to use it for. And it's not like they don't have bad partners. I mean, fifth season has TV productions, through Apple TV Plus, or like Severance, for instance, which that's a big thing, right? Tokyo Vice, 9 Perfect Strangers on Hulu, and then Life and Beth. There's, obviously, I don't think anyone gives a shit about Life and Beth, but there's a lot that they're doing already that's pretty big. And if you're thinking about Toho as a company, looking at what Legendary's done already with the likes of the Apple TV Plus, Monarch Legacy of Monsters show, you can kind of think of the strategic elements that Toho is looking to push and move forwards. They've obviously just released their Japanese Godzilla, the Godzilla -1, smash hit success. I can absolutely believe they're going to look and want to capitalize on that with further productions, a sequel. There's been discussions of a sequel, and maybe even a TV series. Who knows? Toho doesn't own a lot of properties like IPs, so the go-to is always Godzilla. That's probably what they're going to want to do. It's not like Toho has lots and lots and lots of IPs. So yeah, as a distributor, and then maybe go onto the small screen, I can believe a lot of this. This is all thoughts and theories from my perspective, having reviewed the article and kind of, looking at various other business moves that companies like Toho have done. It's looking like that's probably what they're going to want to do. And there's new series in production: Chief of War with Jason Momoa, Lady in the Lake. There's a lot that they're doing. I mean, big stars, Natalie Portman, Jessica Chastain. Fifth season handles distribution for a library of series produced by third-party companies as well. Films, they've not done a lot. I mean, they've done Eileen, sure, fine, I guess, and Nonnas as well, and Anniversary. So they're not doing a lot. They don't do a ton of stuff. But Toho, again, this article says that in addition to production, Toho is a major distributor in Japan, which they are because they have their own. They have their own theatres as well as an exhibitor. They have 740 screens and 30% market share in Japan. They have a third of the market share in Japan. Essentially, a third of the market share. I mean, that's pretty bloody good going. So again, when we're talking about what Toho distributes in Japan, they take all of the money from their own theatres. So Taylor and Rice said this investment is an excellent and unique opportunity to build on fifth season's momentum and solidify our leadership in the global independent film and television space. Strategic partnerships are a core piece of our DNA, and we were deliberate in moving forward with the company as successful, storied and aligned with our goals and values as Toho. With their collaboration alongside that of the great partnerships with CJENM and Endeavour, fifth season is positioned better than ever to delight audiences around the world with an expansive slate of top quality content. So President chimed in as well, said we believe that this collaboration will be a significant step towards challenging the global market. That's right, big dick swingers Toho coming in here. Not only in the field of animation, where Toho has excelled, but also in the realm of live action content. We are extremely grateful and excited to take on this challenge hand in hand with CJENM, which has been advancing into the global entertainment market from Asia, and Endeavour, a global sports and entertainment company, crossing the bridge between Japan and the world that will be built through this collaboration. We hope to see Japanese projects, intellectual properties and content expand further into the global markets. Pretty cool. And then CJENM said, we're thrilled to have Toho, the biggest entertainment company in Japan. So they're a big deal as our partner at this time when fifth season is making significant strides as a global major studio. CJENM will continue to strengthen its competitive advantage as a content producer and bolster its status as a global IP powerhouse. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, this is good. This is a great thing. This is great for lovers of JDM content, Japanese domestic market content. And it's a good thing for Hollywood in general as well, right? Because when we're looking at the market in general, how things move, Hollywood's very introspective, very insular. They'll be comparing themselves like for other individuals that are releasing content and what does well. Now, when Japanese products come out and they do very, very well, it challenges Hollywood to, it challenges their status quo, basically. Can we keep producing this sort of lecture-filled self-insert content. No, right, okay, let's change. So the hope is here, from my perspective, is that either Hollywood will change or Japan and Toho produce just excellent content alongside Hollywood, and people will just drift to the better content, essentially, which is not a bad thing. So it helps the market in general. So let me know your thoughts down below. This is fascinating stuff. Not what I expected to see waking up today. But, upon broader look at the whole thing, it does make sense. So, yeah, drop your thoughts down below. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.